or welcome back to my channel. It's either I'm filming early in the morning or late at night, and it is already 9:49. But if you're new here, I have 6 children. So if it's 8 a.m. or 8 p.m., it's not happening. So I am finally going to get some reading done. I wanted to preface this video by saying these are going to be summer reads, but I'm also doing this to hold myself accountable. As of lately, I feel myself more drawn to scrolling on my phone, watching YouTube, or just ignoring my reading altogether. So by deciding to do this video, I need to get my reading done. Like, that's my thought process on this, so I can tackle my summer TBR. If you look behind me, there's a huge stack there. You got my Bible study there, but you've also got books upon books upon books. And literally behind us, there are more books. So I even think I put one like in the drawer. So this video is going to be a summer reading vlog, getting through my summer TBR. We're gonna tackle this thing. And I am going to start by reading Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Stone. Now, I have had this on my TBR, in my actual TBR videos, I think 2 or 3 times, and I have just never gotten to it. But I am finally going to tackle this. I am already on page 44, and so far I really like this book. To me, Cara Stone's writing is just very fluid. Y'all, if you hear the shower, my apologies, my husband's in the shower. Yeah, so Cara Stone's writing just feels very fluid. It's very easy to get through, and it builds a lot of connection to the characters. I feel like I know them, or I want to know them. I want to know their story. I want to understand what's going on with them. This one in particular, our main character, Lenny, is suffering from grief. She lost her best friend, and she's having a really, really hard time. And so far, like right in the beginning of the story, we get into what is happening with her, how it's affecting her. And then our MMC, Miles, he, I believe, also is suffering from grief, and he hasn't mentioned it yet. I could be wrong, we'll see as we continue to read, but there is an instant connection. And what I love about our main female character is that I feel like she's very realistic. Like, she walks in a room, she sees a man that she's attracted to, and in her mind she's like, oh, we're gonna get married, and she builds all these fantasies in her mind, and she just seems really realistic, like she's a real life human being. And I just thought that that was very cute and quirky about her. I love that. So I'm going to continue to read tonight. It's already about to be 10 o'clock, so I don't know how much reading I'm gonna get done. I don't think I've ever stated this, but I'm a morning person and a night owl. It is not a great combination. I can get up super duper early, and I can stay up super duper late. Like, I could thrive off of 4 or 5 hours of sleep. And I mean, I don't know if it's really thriving, but it's the closest that I'm gonna get to it because of the fact that that's just how my brain works. But I'll probably try to get at least an hour in. I'm not gonna scroll on my phone. I'm not even gonna reward myself by, after every chapter, scrolling on my phone. I'm going to just sit here and read and enjoy some quality time with my husband. My husband likes to play video games, so usually I'll read here. He literally sits right next to me. I put my feet in his lap, and that's what he's doing. So yeah, once I get a little bit deeper into this, I will touch bases with you guys. You guys, the fog on my camera is how humid it is in Virginia right now, and it's 6:31 in the morning. It's 6:31 in the morning, and it's fogging up my lens. So real quick, don't let that deter you from my video. I did read last night. I did get to page 100. That was my goal. I read for an hour straight, so I was reading about a page a minute. And wow, this book is talking about a spectrum of grief and loss and sickness that I don't think I've ever read about, that I've personally had experience with. And I don't want to spoil it, but you'll get there when you get there, but I'm gonna keep wiping this camera. Hold on, guys. On page 72, we get a scene from her deceased friend, and it is something that happens to people who are suffering from what her friend is suffering, and I instantly started tearing up. I mean, I felt it. It felt so bad. And like I said, Cara Bastone's characters just feel so accessible and so real that it just brought me back to a place in my life, and I just wasn't expecting that. So usually if I break out in tears during a book, usually it's getting a high rating. Usually it's getting a very high rating. So I'm going to continue to read, and I did not do very much scrolling. In fact, when I picked up my phone, I think it had been like a couple minutes, and I was like, oh, no, you're reading for the people. You're reading for yourself. You're reading for the people. Thank you guys for holding me accountable. So since it's 6:30 and my babies are probably gonna wake up in 30 minutes, I have a ghost because my coffee machine broke like a year and a half ago, and I just have decision fatigue. Like, I don't know what coffee machine to buy. I don't know if I want an espresso. I don't drink espresso. I don't know if I want a Keurig. I don't know if I want one that does, you know, real coffee, like not in the pods, like the, you know, and I just have decision fatigue. Somebody tell me what coffee machine to buy so I can stop drinking Ghost at 6:30 in the morning. This is the best flavor though. I'm gonna read and put my foggy, human-stricken camera away. I'll touch bases with you guys later. Okay, let's do a little book update. I have a little friend here sleeping with me, and I tried to take my book with me to the pool today, and it decided to storm. So everyone got kicked out of the pool. We were only there for like 30 minutes, and it kind of sucked, but I do love Virginia summer storm, so that's a whole nother thing. But I did get to page, you're gonna hear my kids screaming, by the way, you guys, like, they're awake. So I got to page I got to page 136 in this book this morning, and let me tell you, I am loving the dynamic between Lenny and Miles. The way that it's not actually the FMC who only needs him, but it's also him that needs her. And that's one of the things that I really, really, really enjoy in a story, that it's not one-sided and one character is flawed or one character is going through something. And I felt the same way when I read Ready or Not, that all of the characters had these different... Let me fix it. Okay, like I was saying, all of the characters had something going on that they needed to work through, and it's the same thing in here. It's not even just our two main characters. We have the MMC sister who is going through the same thing as him, but also discovering things, and so their dynamic is really, really strained, and he is trying so hard, but he's also being there for Lenny and becoming this anchor for her and helping to pull her out of this grief that has truly destroyed her from the inside out. And if you're new here, then you may not know, unless you watch some of my previous videos, that this spring we lost my mother-in-law, and we literally lost her, like, I think less than 2 weeks before my daughter's 15th birthday. And it has definitely been an uphill battle for us, and seeing this, it actually, one thing I love about reading, I'm going to be on a tangent here, but one thing I love about reading is how it teaches you. It shows you things that you may not even think of, because you're in your own mind and you have your own experiences, and you're able to experience life experiences through stories that are written by other people. And it really got me to thinking, like, even more so, like, about how my husband is feeling and what is he going through internally that maybe I'm not understanding, and how does that affect like some of the things that happen outwardly, not only for him but for me, because not only did we lose her this year, but last year I lost my last 2 living grandparents. So it's been a really hard 12 months for my family, and just being able to read it from the outside looking in at someone else, because you may not ever know what someone else is thinking, but the fact that we know how it's affecting Lenny as a character is really helping me to process how everyone else is feeling in grief, not just myself. No, that was a mouthful, but that alone is just the writing in this. I really enjoyed Ready or Not. It was very cute. This has deeper meaning, and maybe that's just for me personally, maybe just because of what I've experienced in life, but I'm really enjoying this. And honestly, this is the most dedicated I've been to a book in quite some time, other than Frida McFadden book that I read recently, and that's just because it's Frida McFadden. Like, come on, we all binge read the Frida McFadden books, but this book here has really held my attention and really made me feel something, especially dealing with I lost my grandmother to cancer when I was 10 years old, the exact same cancer as Lenny's best friend. And so if you've ever experienced dealing with anyone with that type of cancer, you know that there is an end there, and it's not one that usually has a good prognosis. And I remember being in that and seeing my mom and her siblings. My mom is one of 7, so watching all of them just really feel the pain of losing my grandmother was really hard. And so this book has definitely been pulling so many emotions out of me, and maybe it won't for you, but I really think that if you have not read a book by Cara Bastone yet, you definitely should, because this girl can write in a way that just makes you feel like you're a part of it. Like you are in this story and you have a place here and you know these people. So I'm not going to talk your ear off. I'm going to go tuck my baby into bed, get my other peoples to bed, and I'm going to get to reading. And then I'm going to let you know how I feel when I'm done with the book. I want to tell you guys that I am finishing page 145. So if you ever find yourself reading this book and just, like I said earlier, I said I wasn't going to check in until I finished the book. But if you find yourself experiencing grief and reading how Lenny feels, and when the grief overcomes her, oh my god, I did not mean to come on here and cry, but it feels so real and raw and deep, and I can just picture and feel how she feels. So I just wanted to come on here and say that because I was not expecting that. And if you don't know me personally, I smile when I'm either uncomfortable or sad or angry. So I'm but yeah, I'm gonna finish reading and then I will touch back when I'm done. All right, you guys, so it's officially Tuesday and I did not update you guys since Sunday night on how I felt about Promise Me Sunshine. So I finished Promise Me Sunshine last night, and it was worth the wait, and also I'm upset at myself for waiting. But it definitely hit me at the perfect time, because this has got to be one of the fastest reads. Like, I think I already said that earlier in this video, that I've read in quite some time. So I am slowly been working my way out of a reading slump since the beginning of the year, and this wouldn't have got the attention that it deserved if I would have read it when I bought it. So let's talk about this story real quick. So we have Lenny and Miles, and funny enough, Miles is the name from another one of my favorite characters from another book that I read this year. And if you're new here and you don't know, it was Funny Story. So I was like, oh, okay, so now I need to read books with the name Miles, I guess, because it's always going to be a hit for me. But whatever. Anyways, I digress. But we have Lenny and Miles. Lenny and Miles are actually both on a different timeline of grief. One who's in the beginning and one who's all the way on the opposite end of the spectrum. And they come into contact with each other through Lenny babysitting his niece, and then we move on from there. And essentially, Miles notices the grief in her. He sees it in her because he's experienced it. And even though he's initially coming off as grumpy, he opens up when he realizes what it is that she's dealing with. And he basically becomes her wingman, and they go at life and her healing throughout the process of the story. Now, I wanted so badly to give this book 5 stars. And I thought through most of the book that I would definitely give it 5 stars, but I am gonna give it a 4.5. I cannot give it 5 stars. Like, I was debating when I talked to my husband last night, like, is this gonna be a 4-star or a 4.5? Because the way he saw me reading it that first day, he was like, oh, this is gonna be a 5-star book for her. But let me get into why in a second. So I felt like, even though Kara's writing is not overly complicated, it's a very easy read. You can read this really fast, like I have demonstrated here, even though I have 6 kids and everything running around. And she uses that to her advantage by making the characters very personable and relatable, and it touches you, because I feel like most of us probably know someone who has dealt with cancer here in 2025 at this point. It really, really, really wrecked me for most of the book. Every time that Lenny went through one of the instances where she was being reminded of what was gone, and the emotions and the actions that took place afterwards felt so real, and just it really messed me up. But one of the things about Lenny is she is a quirky character, and the quirkiness works for the most part. And this book had literally no spice. I was prepared to finish this book off with no spice at all. And when we got to the last 40 pages, I realized we were going to shove a spice scene in here. We were going to do that. And I had a feeling, because the way that sex was talked about earlier on in the story just felt kind of like a disconnected thing, like it wasn't a big deal. And that's just not how I personally view it. And if you don't view it that way, that's your own personal opinion, and these are my personal opinions. When she wrote it and waited until the very end, it was very mechanical. And then we did this, and then we moved here, and then we took a step to the left, and then we stood up, and then I lifted my leg. And then it was just like very unrealistic. I didn't even know what they were really doing. And it just felt like I really did not enjoy it. And not only that, is that the quirkiness and like her demeanor like entered into the scene and made it not in a good way. Like, not saying, like, I've definitely gotten the zoomies beforehand, you know, especially like after my ovulation cycle, like right when my cycle is about to hit, like I get the zoomies every time we try. I'm not even gonna lie. You know, if you can relate, girl, I see you. But it was like this person was coming out of grief, and I felt like it should have just felt more special, and it just felt so mechanical and disconnected, and it pulled me out of the rest of the book. Like the entire rest of the book, I was like, the last quarter of the book was literally like whatever. I didn't feel anything for the character. Not to say though, the entire first 3/4 of this book were phenomenal to me. They were absolutely phenomenal. I'm still giving this a 4.5 because I don't want to let the spice scene ruin the book for me, because I don't even care about the spice scenes anymore. Like I read books that literally have none at all. It does not bother me, not even an inclination. If you've ever read like Jessa Hastings books, you know they don't really like Magnolia Parks. I don't think there's really any in them at all. Sorry y'all, I had to put some chapstick on. I'm dehydrated, it's hot. I do have a sweater on though. Like, I don't know, so I had to put some chapstick on because we can't get chapped. But anyways, you guys, I digressed. But now that I finished Promise Me Sunshine as my first official book, completed on the summer reading vlog. And by the way, this book does take place in August, so it's perfect to like read towards the end of summer and work your way into fall, because it does do that. It starts in August and works its way into fall, and I believe winter. Great for summertime. I still absolutely loved this book. I wish it was a 5-star, but 4.5 is an excellent read. Now, I know that I'm trying to read there's 3 books I'm reading in a week. And so I'm gonna go ahead and move on to The Love Simulation by Etta Easton. You might know her from The Kiss Countdown. And that one is a very fluffy rom-com type book. And the writing was really easy and short. And I don't know how many pages, I don't remember that one is, but this is less than 300 pages. So if you're looking for like an airplane read or a beach pool read, this definitely fits the bill. And it's romancy and it's a rom-com. Her last book, I believe I gave 3 out of 5 stars. 3 stars is still good. It was just like a palate cleanser. It was very fluffy and cute, and I was glad that it was short, because if it would have been any longer, then I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. But definitely rom-com-y, definitely perfect for summer. And I got to page 15 this morning, but I was super tired, y'all. I was so tired. I talked to my mom last night for like maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then I stayed up and finished the book. So I was just too tired. And I don't know if anybody else out there is married to a man who has to get up super early and be to work early, or if you're married to a military man and you know that they have PT, and my husband has like 5 alarms going off. So he woke me up multiple times. So I was really tired and I did not get into my book. So I'm going to try and read some of this in a minute. My babies are asleep. One of them sleep over here. Digging into it some more tonight, and then let you guys know how I'm feeling about it. So far, what I've gotten from it is, I don't even remember our main characters' names because I was so sleepy. We have Brianna, who is the vice principal, and then we have Roman, who's the vice principal's son, and he's a science teacher at the school. So it says a passionate vice principal and a guarded science teacher compete for a grand prize only to realize their budding relationship might be the real jackpot. So, rivals? Is this Rivals? I've been reading quite a few Rivals to Lovers lately. Yeah, before I start gabbing, just want to let you guys know that is what we're going to be reading, and I'm going to touch bases with you guys this evening once my kids are sleeping. Good morning, you guys. It is officially Wednesday, and I got no reading done after I talked to you guys yesterday. It was one of those mom days where, and I'm going to be honest with you without spilling too much, I had several children who were fighting in just a way that I it was crazy yesterday. So I'm being honest with you because I know a lot of you new followers are following me because I am a mom and you're moms too, and you're like, oh my gosh, it seems like, you know, this and that. I have gotten those messages in the past, and no, it is not always like that. It is not always easy. I have rough days just like you guys, and I was so mentally and even like emotionally drained yesterday from motherhood that I couldn't even pick up my book. And like, I mean, my husband, he's so awesome. He came home and he helped me get everyone to bed after we dealt with the situations that had occurred earlier in the day, and then made me dinner, and he literally engulfed me and like I was a teddy bear, and I needed that. Like, there's times where, this is totally off topic of the video, but like sometimes, like, I'm not a toucher. That's not my love language. In fact, it's like almost all the way at the end. And but there are those moments where I know that that's his love language, and that actually makes me feel safe because I know like I'm feeling loved. But that has nothing to do with summer reading. But I wanted to let you guys know that I have summer reading goals, and they don't get met because motherhood, and that's okay. And I want you guys to know that, so you don't feel pressured by seeing people on social media, or even people who maybe aren't mothers, and you're following them and they're reading this amount, or they're going to go do this and they're going to do that, and it's like, oh no, but my stuff is getting disturbed, and that's okay. Like, that's a part of motherhood. It's going to get disturbed, and you just have to keep on picking up. And even though, like, in my mind, for this video in particular, I'm like, I'm gonna read 3 books this week, and I haven't done that in a while. It's okay. It's okay. I'm just gonna push through, and even if that means my last book that I might have to switch to audiobook for me to achieve that goal, then that's okay too. So what I'm gonna do because of yesterday is I'm on page 24. It is 6:09. And oh, you can't see, the light came on. It's 6:09, and what I want to do is I'm gonna set a 1-hour timer and basically do like a reading sprint. And I need to adjust this because, yeah, I want to do like a reading sprint and see how far I can get. Now, because I'm so tired and because my cycle starts in like 2 days, I know that I don't read as fast because my brain is kind of distracted. But what I do to mitigate that, and what really helps me, like for real, is I have a pair of headphones, whatever headphones I'm next to, and then I'll listen to like rain sounds, thunderstorms, or like lake rain sounds or something like that. And I also put a show on. I've talked about this in a previous video where all of the different things that are familiar to me help me to not be distracted. So I'm gonna put Monk on. If you don't know Monk, go watch Monk. I'm gonna put Monk on, listen to the sounds, and see how much reading I can get done. Hopefully nobody wakes up for the hour. We'll see what happens. Okay, you guys, so I did finish reading. It's 7:31 now. I finished about a little over 15 minutes ago, and literally one of the babies, if you're new here, that's what we call them. She's 4. They're 4 and 3. She woke up, so she woke up like maybe, I want to say like 4 minutes before my timer was done. But I did go from page 24 to page 68, which is not bad for just waking up and my cycle about to come, because my mind does not compute when she's on her way. I can kind of give you now a better synopsis of what's going on in this story. So we have Brianna, who's our main female character, and Roman, who's our MMC, and they are working at a school. He is the son of the principal, and Brianna is the vice principal. Now, her and the principal bump heads, and obviously that kind of is like, you know, 2 peas in a pod makes Roman look like he's you know, kind of bad as well. Now she is trying to get the remodel done on the library for the students, and our principal basically blocks that by doing something else behind her back. And we end up finding an alternate way to get the library updated, and that is by a simulation. On a Mars simulation, her brother is Vincent, which is the MMC from the KISS countdown. So her family is very familiar when it comes to space. I didn't even realize that, I think I realized it when the book was about to come out, because I had just read the KISS countdown earlier this year, but I didn't realize it just now when I picked, like, it left my mind. So her family's very familiar with space, and she is going to attempt to help win a Mars simulation for the school to get the money to completely revamp their school library. That's what I've got so far, and we can kind of see that Roman actually is nothing like his father. We haven't really gotten into that all the way yet. That's what I've gotten so far. How many times have I said so far? Drop that in the comments. But anyways, yeah, so at page 68, that is already a quarter of the book, because like I said before, the book is less than 300 pages. The book is only 287 pages. So I'm already a quarter of the way through, and we'll see if I can actually finish this one today, so that way I'm still on track to complete the 3 books. So I'm gonna go be mom, and then well, next time I read, or if it's finished, I will touch bases with you guys. All right, bye. I don't even know how many days it's been since I updated this reading vlog. And once you see my Summer Diaries episode, you guys will know why. I've just been super duper busy and tired because my cycle is literally about 2 days away. So I tried to read this morning, or no, last night, and I fell asleep on the couch. Then I got up this morning at 6:30, well, not before 6:30, to read, and I fell asleep with the book in my hand and the headphones on my head, and my babies came and woke me up this morning. So I am still on the first quarter of the book. I'm on page 86, and I'm going to attempt to read while I ride with my husband to Lowe's to go get some paint and the supplies to paint our dining room. We're still on the love simulation. I'm actually supposed to be finishing my 3rd book tonight, and there's no way that's gonna happen. So when you see this reading vlog will not be posted on Saturday like it was supposed to. It'll probably be posted on the following Wednesday. So you guys will probably see my July wrap up first, then see this. So I'm thinking that I can finish this book probably not tonight, but probably tomorrow morning, because tonight I'm gonna start painting the dining room when the kids go to bed. So I don't really want to buy this book on audiobook if I already have it in physical form while I'm painting. I would rather get a book that I don't already own. And yeah, so that's what we're gonna go do, you guys. I feel like a lot of reading vlogs are missing sort of that honesty when it comes to reading goals and what happens. And one of those things is like our cycle every month kind of dictates to us how motivated or how like organized we can be. I know that like right after my ovulation and I get that dip in hormones, I lose all of my drive to complete things. And then right like the day before my cycle hits, which will be tomorrow, will be the day before, I get like this burst of energy and motivation, and then I can get everything completed, and it's kind of like building up like the hormones again. So that's kind of what happened. I started this reading vlog right after my ovulation happened, and so I kind of got to think about that. Like if I'm gonna do like a reading vlog where I'm reading a certain amount of books in a week, like I should do it during a time of the month where I feel really energized. I'm not tired. I'm not high anxiety, you know, different things like that. We need to like discuss that, because you might think that you're having like a bad week and really your period's just coming. So that's just the way that it is. But anyways, before I start rambling, let me get dressed. I can go with my husband and finish this book. Okay, before I drive and read with this fool right here, I gotta get me a coffee. And you gonna get you a what?
Give me a coffee and a chocolate wazon.
Can I get a grande vanilla cream cold brew with light ice and just a splash of the cream? What? Taste that. Let's get into this book, The Love Simulation by Etta Easton. I just finished the epilogue this morning. I would have made it, but last night I passed out. But anyways, I digress. So this is following our two main characters, Brianna and Roman. Brianna is the vice principal of the school that Roman is also the science teacher of, and his dad is the principal. The principal is constantly getting in her way. He stops a very, very important thing that the kids needed for the school to get done, and she finds an alternate way to do that, and that is the Mars simulation program. The whole point is so that way she can use the money from winning the simulation to complete the task that she wanted to complete. Roman ends up going on the simulation as well, and then she becomes suspicious and things start to progress over time. I ended up giving this a 3.5 stars. I think that Etta Easton's scenarios and how she's writing Black people in STEM is great. I love that for us. You know, it's a great alternative to, like, I guess that would be like Ali Hazelwood, right? Who writes a lot of like love in STEM. But the one thing that I have a problem with, that I also had a problem with in the Kids Countdown, is things start to happen and they're happening with like a lot of key components missing. So it's like, how did their love story progress so quickly? Or did I miss something? Like, there's just a lot of that happens. And then I felt personally that when it came to the simulation, there wasn't a lot going on. I feel like this is gonna be a few spoilers. So I'm gonna let you guys decide if you wanna fast forward right here or listen to the spoilers real quick. Okay, now that you've decided to continue and listen to the spoilers, let's talk about them real quick. There are other people on the team, and obviously they do become eliminated. And they become eliminated when they go on one of the big keynote type of like adventures that they're supposed to do and complete. The problem that I have is once it's only these two left, nothing happens. And if I'm remembering correctly, it was like 3 weeks into the 6 weeks that nothing else really happened. Nothing at all. And that was really strange to me, because why would that happen? Now we're just solely focused on the romance that out of nowhere is progressing really, really fast. And yeah, that's how I felt about it. I just feel like instead of only writing less than 300 pages, she could have took a little bit more time and added a little bit more detail to help. I think that this is a really cute, fluffy read. It's very fast paced. It did take me more days than I thought. This could have been a 2-day book for me, but mom life, it happens. I still am giving it a 3.5 stars. I just think that if she took a little bit more time to give us a little bit more in between, I guess is what we're looking for here. So 3.5, and then we're gonna move on to our final book for this summer reading vlog. Okay, so the next book that I really wanted to read because the cover was giving pure summer is Swept Away by Beth O'Leary. Now this book features two people who have like a one-night stand, and then they end up stranded out at sea on a boat together. So I don't know, I thought that would be like really summery. This cover is really pretty too. Like, this is a beautiful, beautiful cover. I'm gonna start this one in a little bit. Also, this isn't necessarily like part of the plan that I had planned to have in this video, but I did start Razor Blade Tears by S.A. Cosby as well on audiobook, and let me tell you, that book is hitting. Oh my gosh, the person who narrates his books is fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. He really pulls you into the story, and I feel like I'm listening to the characters talk. He is very, very good. There's nothing wrong with the book so far. There has been nothing wrong with the book. It's like so good. So I'll give you guys an update on that too if I finish it in time for the reading vlog. But it was mainly romance books. But I just wanted to let you guys know I did start Razorblade Tears and it is good. So I'm gonna get started with my day and then I'll do some check-ins to let you guys know how the book is coming along as I read it. All right, you guys, I've got a little pick-me-up coffee here and I did make it to page 60 in the book. Hold on. Your girl needs a little coffee, I needs it today. But I did make it to page 60 here. And so far, it's decent. I don't know if I'm necessarily loving it because there's just something about it I'm not sure if I'm loving. It is cute. It is fluffy, kind of like my last read where it's not really too deep. It kind of feels like one of those palette cleanser books. And since I'm reading it after another book that kind of felt like that, I don't know. I'm gonna keep on reading it. It's not bad. It's just, I don't know, there's something about it. But I am only on page 60, so I'm gonna keep on reading it later this evening. And I think I'm gonna continue to set timers for myself and do like hour-long spurts, so that way I can like just focus in on this and not be distracted by everything else. So there's my little napping buddy. We took a nap together. But yeah, so next time that I do start reading this, I'll touch bases with you guys and let you guys know if I'm still feeling the same way, if I'm liking it a little bit more. There is a little bit of emphasis on grief in this book as well, for both of our two main characters, Zeke and, y'all, this is bad, I already forgot her name. What's her name? Lexi. All right, I'll update you guys later. All right, my people, we are finally bringing my summer reading vlog to a close. I have no recollection to what I said at the beginning of this vlog. Not one. What I do know is that I did so-so. I did not finish all the books that I thought I was gonna finish. I'm gonna get into that here right now. The first book that I did finish was Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bastone. Over on my social media platforms, if you're not following me over on Instagram or TikTok, you can find those down in the description below. They are my name, Adriana Faye _. Here on YouTube, I'm Adriana Pryor. Someone stole my name already over there, so it is what it is. But if you're not following me over there, then you wouldn't have gotten like my initial reaction to the book, but you guys did see me here, so that actually doesn't make any sense. See what I mean? I don't remember what happened when I started this vlog. I really don't. It's been a long week, so I'm sorry. Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bastone definitely was my favorite book that I read during the month of July. This book had great depth, talked about grief in the most realistic way possible. The characters felt real. We got to see what it's like during people in different places and stages of grief and how that affects families. We got to see like how that can make you withdrawn and how it can seep all the joy out of your life. And it was so great, and it was so close to being a 5-star read for me. But then we had that spice scene that just completely took me out of everything else for the rest of the book. But this was such a good book. I think it's perfect for the end of summer and the beginning of fall because it takes place during the end of August and then transitions into the fall and winter time. So this is definitely a great book. I think that Cara Bastone is an amazing writer, and she has the ability to make you feel for the characters as if they are your own friends. So definitely recommend this one. Next was The Love Simulation, and I thought that this book was gonna take me maybe 2 days to read, and it ended up taking me a little bit longer than that. I think it took me 4 or 5 days to complete this book. Now, granted, I was doing a bunch of stuff that you guys will see during my summer diaries around the house with the kids. It was like grocery shopping week and things like that. But this book is under 300 pages, and I felt like it shouldn't have took me that long. I think I had the same issue with The Kiss Countdown. I think that Etta Easton's ability to write about something different than what we're used to seeing is amazing. But I felt once again, like the first time with The Kiss Countdown, that there were parts that needed to be in the story for it to flow cohesively and for me to feel and believe the chemistry between the two characters 100%. So that was what I really had a problem with. And I also felt like the whole simulation itself, I don't feel like it had as much going for it as what I thought was gonna happen. Like, this almost felt like what's happening in the Hunger Games, but you're just doing a Mars simulation, but there wasn't enough action. And once we got to losing most of the characters, nothing else happened the entire time, and it was just over. So I did end up giving this one a 3.5 stars. I think I actually stuck with the characters longer than the Kiss Countdown. I gave that one 3 stars, but hopefully, you know, during the progression of writing more and more stories, we will get a little bit better character development, if that makes sense. Now next was a book that I haven't really seen, like, the people at least that I follow talk about, and that is Swept Away by Beth O'Leary. And the premise seemed really summery, really cute. As of this moment right now today, I am only on page 98. And I did anticipate that I would be able to finish all 3 of those books by the time I was done filming this video, but something just isn't going well for me. And I don't know if this is a full DNF or a soft DNF. I really try hard not to DNF books. I've only DNF'd maybe 4 or 5 books in my entire life. So I don't want to say that I'm just done with it, but every time I start reading it, I fall asleep. I'm not even kidding you guys. Like, I woke up yesterday at 5:30 to read because I was like, I could get 100 pages done in the morning, 100 pages done at night, and another 100 pages done today in the morning, and I would have been done with the book. But when I woke up at 5:30 in the morning to read this book yesterday, I got like 5 pages in it. I was asleep. I think that was the best sleep I ever had. This is like pure melatonin. I'm not even making this up. So then last night, I did not read it again because after the first day of trying to read this, and you'll see like in my summer diaries, I think it was on Saturday, I decided to start an audiobook to add to this video. I think I mentioned it before. I think I mentioned it when I filmed maybe yesterday or day before yesterday, but I did decide to start Razor Blade Tears by S.A. Cosby because he is now one of my favorite authors. I don't care that that was only my second time reading, but I did start picking up Razor Blade Tears and listening to that, and I was obsessed. But let me finish this real quick. So because this kept putting me to sleep, I did start Razor Blade Tears by S.A. Cosby, and then this morning I was up again at 6 a.m. I did my Bible study, and then I went to pick this up, and I kid you guys not, I started dozing off. I didn't go to sleep. I realized this book is putting me to sleep, and I decided to go ahead and put it down and pick up Razor Blade Tears and listen to that instead while I did breakfast and everything with the kids this morning. So as of right now, I cannot rate this. The writing, there's some parts that are super wordy. I'm getting lost in the sauce. I'm not following. There's a lot going on. I mean, from the very beginning, they're already lost out at sea, which is cool, but it's like, I don't know. I don't have any more words for it. But let's go ahead and get into Razor Blade Tears. Razor Blade Tears is easily a 5-star read for me. I've had so many jaw-dropping moments that I did not even catch on camera because it's just like, as I'm going, I'm like, oh my goodness. And the topics that are being talked about in this book are amazingly written, and it's so good. I'm so happy that he wrote the story because it puts into perspective your family and what really matters, and just like, it's so deep. I cannot even put into words. And then I felt like I was just in this action movie at the same time. I mean, scene after scene after scene. The book that I read before this was All the Sinners Bleed, and that is I gave that 5 stars as well, but this is like action movie, like Walking Tall, like early 2000s. They're walking, and every time they get to the new destination, they got to kill some people. Like, it is so good. It's an amazing book. He's an amazing author, and the way that he's able to just weave a story and pull you in and bring and make you feel compassion towards these characters, make you feel these other characters' pain and also feel their missteps and their ability to try and right their wrongs. You feel all of that, and he's an amazing writer. I mean, it was so good. I cannot wait to pick up another one from him. I don't know which one I want to pick up next, so if you guys have a favorite book by S.A. Cosby, please drop that down below, because I would love to get another book in by him, at least one every month, so I can catch up with all of his writing. That is a mouthful, but I'm telling you, I absolutely loved it. 5 out of 5 stars. I even found myself crying, I want to say the second to last chapter. I was kind of expecting, there's two things that happen, the big reveal and also what happens to a character. I was actually expecting those things to happen. So when they happened, the fact that I still felt shock really told me something. So I am not one to write off an author's writing just because you kind of know what's something that might happen. I honestly believe that his ability to still give me the shock factor was crazy, and I loved it. I can't say it enough. But anyways, yeah, so that is everything we read this week. We finished 2 physical copies, 1 audiobook, and we got 100 pages into a 4th book. I think that that's really, really good with the way that my reading has been going the past few months. I'm really proud of myself. If you guys have any summer recs to end the summer for me, for anybody else out there watching, go ahead and drop those down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my ever-growing channel. I really appreciate all the love and support. And until the next time, happy reading.